Imagine being thrown, alive, into a fire so massive that the people around it had to use a catapult, because they couldn't even get close enough to throw you in themselves. Now imagine, the fire doesn't burn you. This is not a myth. This is not a legend. This is the story of Ibrahim, Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. And it is one of the most powerful stories ever told. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome to ilm-Lab, where we explore the stories, teachings, and history of Islam. Today, we're going back thousands of years to ancient Babylon, to a time of idol worship, arrogance, and a young man who dared to stand alone against an entire civilization. His name was Ibrahim, alayhi salam, and what he went through, what he survived, would change the world forever. To understand Ibrahim's story, we first need to understand the world he was born into. Babylon, one of the most powerful civilizations in human history. The people of Babylon worshipped idols, hundreds of them. Statues of stone and wood carved by human hands that people bowed to, prayed to, and offered sacrifices for. And at the center of this civilization was a king, a tyrant. His name was Nimrod, a man so consumed by his own power that he claimed to be a god himself. Into this world, Ibrahim was born. But Ibrahim was different from the very beginning. Even as a young boy, he looked at the idols his people worshipped and felt something deeply wrong. He would ask, "How can you worship something that cannot hear you, that cannot help you, that cannot even move?" His own father, Azar, was a sculptor, a man who carved these very idols with his own hands. And yet, Ibrahim could not stay silent. The Quran tells us that Ibrahim looked up at the sky one night, and he saw a star shining brightly. He said, "Could this be my Lord?" But when the star set and disappeared, he said, "I do not love things that set." Then he saw the moon rising, magnificent, glowing. "Could this be my Lord?" But the moon, too, disappeared with the dawn, and Ibrahim turned away. Then the sun rose, blazing, overwhelming. "Surely this must be my Lord. It is the greatest." But the sun, too, set. And in that moment, Ibrahim had his answer. He said, "O my people, I am free of what you associate with Allah. Indeed, I have turned my face toward He who created the heavens and the earth, a true believer. And I am not of those who associate others with Allah." Ibrahim had found the truth. Through reason, through reflection, through his fitrah, his natural instinct toward his Creator. And now he was ready to speak. Ibrahim began calling his people to worship Allah alone. He spoke to his father. He spoke to his community. But they rejected him. So Ibrahim made a decision. There was a great festival coming up, a day when everyone in the city would leave to celebrate outside the walls of Babylon. Ibrahim stayed behind. He walked into the temple, alone, surrounded by hundreds of idols. He looked at the food offerings placed before them and said, "Will you not eat? What is wrong with you that you do not speak?" Then he raised his axe. One by one, he destroyed the idols. All of them. Except the largest one. He placed the axe in the hands of the largest idol and left. When the people returned and saw the destruction, they were furious. "Who did this to our gods?" someone said. "We heard a young man speaking against them. His name is Ibrahim." They brought Ibrahim forward and demanded, "Was it you who did this?" Ibrahim looked at the largest idol, the one holding the axe, and said, "Rather, it was this, the largest of them, who did it. So ask them if they should be able to speak." The crowd fell silent. For a moment, they actually thought. Then shame turned to anger, and anger turned to something far darker. The people gathered. The king was summoned, and a verdict was reached. Ibrahim would be punished. He would be burned alive. They began building the fire, and the Quran and narrations tell us it was no ordinary fire. Wood was collected from across the region. People donated fuel for weeks. It is said the fire was so enormous, so intensely hot, that birds flying overhead would fall dead from the heat. The fire burned so fiercely that they could not even throw Ibrahim in by hand. So they built a catapult. And Ibrahim, this young man who had stood alone against an empire, was tied up and placed inside it. Imagine that moment. Tied, helpless, the roar of the flames ahead of you, the crowd screaming around you. The narrations tell us that the angel Gabriel came to Ibrahim in that moment and asked, "Do you need anything?" And Ibrahim replied, "From you, no." He needed nothing from the angel, because his trust, his complete, unshakable trust, was in Allah alone. Then he was launched into the fire. And Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, spoke, "O fire, be coolness and safety upon Ibrahim." The fire obeyed its creator. Ibrahim landed and walked through the flames, unharmed. Not a single hair was burned. Not a thread of his clothing was singed. He sat in the midst of that raging fire, as if sitting in a garden, in peace, in the presence of his Lord. When they looked into the fire, they saw him, sitting, calm, alive. And Nimrod, the king who called himself a god, could do nothing. Subhanallah. The story of Ibrahim and the fire is one of the most extraordinary moments in all of human history. But what does it teach us? First, true Iman is unshakable. Ibrahim did not waver, not when his father rejected him, not when his community rejected him, not when a king threatened him, not when he was tied up and launched into a fire. His connection to Allah was beyond all of that. Second, tawakkul, complete reliance on Allah. When Jibreel offered help, Ibrahim said, "From you, no." He did not place his trust in angels or in miracles or in his own strength. He placed it entirely in Allah. And Allah was enough. Third, Allah controls everything, even fire. We think of fire as something that simply burns, because that is its nature. But Allah is the one who gave fire that nature in the first place, and He can change it in an instant for whoever He wills. The story of Ibrahim reminds us that no matter how powerful the forces against you seem, if Allah is with you, nothing can harm you. And it reminds us of something beautiful about Ibrahim himself, why Allah called him Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. Because Ibrahim gave everything: his comfort, his family, his safety, his life. And in return, Allah gave him something no fire, no king, no empire could ever take away: His nearness, His protection, His love. May Allah make us among those who have true tawakkul, true reliance in Him. May He make us among those who stand for truth, even when it is hard. And may He grant us even a fraction of the Iman of Ibrahim, alayhis salam. If this story moved you, share it. Because sharing knowledge, sharing ilm, is one of the most beautiful things we can do. Subscribe to ilm-Lab, where every video is a step deeper into the knowledge of Islam. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.